Low Key Martin, new member here. Love the show and all you do. Quick question. What advice do you have for young leftists, especially when it comes to talking to centrists and spreading our ideology? P.S. I'm also unionizing my workplace. Well, unionizing your workplace is going pretty far. That's good.
Yeah.
I think the most effective thing is don't worry about sharing the ideology at first. Keep it on issues that have material relevance to the people you're talking to. Like, there's no reason why, I don't know, at work, we shouldn't have a certain amount of paid sick leave, or we need more of a voice in what happens to us. Our fate should not be exclusively in the hands of the owners of this company, for instance. I am of the belief, personally, that talking about like ideologies or talking about labels to people who are not that politically active and not necessarily that read into these things is alienating and also unnecessary. I would much rather have someone who acts, talks, uses their political will, and organizes as someone with, let's say, socialistic principles than a person who refers to themselves and doesn't, and just never even occurs to them to say that they're a socialist, than someone who is a socialist and has begun their journey necessarily of reading theory. Now,
well, you work like a funnel, right? You cast the widest net, and then as you develop relationships with people, you can suss out or figure out what they might be more comfortable with.
Yeah,
but you start with common ground.
Yeah, I just think that in general, like, most normies are just not that interested in the ideologies, and they're scared off by that. I mean, that was
your critique of Bernie's speech.
Well, exactly. Like I think there is value. Don't get me wrong. Do I think that there is value in theory? Yes. But for me, I'm not worried about reformation of an ideology as much as I am in putting into practice the agenda of that ideology. So yes, Bernie's speech is a perfect example of that. I just didn't think that, like, yeah, he's going to be called a socialist. So what? He was called a socialist the first time too. Like, you're not going to convince anybody at that stage anyways, at the beginning of your campaign. Much better to be like, I'm for X, Y, and Z. And then, 2 years into your presidency, go like, oh yeah, incidentally, a lot of people say this is socialist. Mm-hmm. That's my perspective.